Tuning into the online broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing after-shows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows. Interviewing celebrities and showrunners. And bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Hello. Welcome to the Librarians AFTERBUZZ After Show. If you are not familiar with this song, shame on you. It's the Time Warp! Welcome again, Librarians After Show here on AFTERBUZZ. If you have not already, go to youtube.com/AFTERBUZZ-TV. Hit subscribe. We're also on iTunes and SoundCloud. I'm your host, Yael Tygiel. You can tweet at me live during the show at Yael Tygiel. That's YAELTYGIEL. It's like I'm punching a keyboard.
Totally.
Use the hashtag ABTV, the Librarians, and I'm joined by Tauri J.
Hey guys, I'm Tauri J. Miller. You can find me on Twitter at Tauri J. It's TAURIJAY.
Yeah, nice. We're talking about the season finale, second season of the Librarians,
yes,
and the final curtain. Oh, the song's over. Oh no, it isn't. Okay. I know this dance. This is one of the few dances I know. Okay, so let's jump into time travel. I love time travel. I love a good time travel story. I know
too.
You also
love
time travel.
We have a thing on the Flash After Show that I do where we go, time travel, anytime that we're introducing a concept or talking about the perils of time travel.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
That's the Flash After Show here on AFTERBUZZ.
Yes, it is.
You and
Tuesdays
I also
at 9 o'clock.
talk about time travel on another show.
Yes.
Here on AFTERBUZZ.
Oh, you mean Doctor Who?
That is the one.
That's Sundays?
Yeah. Except for this week.
Yes.
Anyway, I thought it's the season finale. Might as well let people know where else they can find us.
It's true.
All right, let's jump into the time travel on this show. Because we have, I think my favorite part, I love when time travel, and I love this about Looper, for example, where they go, I don't want to talk about time travel, which is basically, we're not going to explain it. Just deal with it.
Right.
Which is, I feel like, Baird's role in this entire adventure. I hate time travel. Right?
Though they do a really good job of kind of going into the science and the non-paradox kind of stuff. So I think that they had a good balance as opposed to just being like, so what are your rules? And just be like, you suck it.
Yeah, I liked that idea a lot, though. I like that we have Flynn being like, well, here's how it works. You don't violate causality.
Yeah.
Okay. Silly terms. But I think every time Baird says, I hate time travel, it made me so happy.
Yeah.
Especially before it even started, she goes, I'm going to hate this. Mm-hmm. I'm like, yeah, you are.
Yeah. Because, like, to the practical, like, if you're not immersed in time travel,
right?
Like, it's all silly. It's because it's what's the conflicting rule on top of conflicting rule and top of conflicting rule, and you're just like, nothing makes sense. Are we in a multiverse? Are we in a cyclical time loop?
I think we're in a cyclical time loop.
We are, yeah.
Yeah, especially because if we go back and stop Prospero, then we'd never go back to stop Prospero, but we have to go back to stop Prospero.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was good.
Yeah.
That was so good. Okay, so let's talk about our time machines, because there's a time machine room.
Yes.
Obviously.
Oh, well, yeah. Why wouldn't there be?
Which I feel like last week I'd complained about the library and why we're staying in the annex. Mm-hmm. And this week they were like, remember all these other rooms in the library?
Yeah.
It was kind of like a shut up yell.
I feel like they do that a lot.
Yep.
Yeah.
I do feel that. Okay, so we have our time machines, and you and I both saw it.
Oh, yeah.
And the fans also saw it. There was a TARDIS in that room.
Yeah.
And a DeLorean.
Yeah. This room was like a treasure trove of like time travel references.
Yeah.
Even like the dialogue was like super duper referency. We had
For
caught
example?
one. Well, we had caught one where they were talking about the causality, and Baird goes, "All right," which is like a little cute, little subtle nod to Interstellar. Which, spoiler alert, if you haven't seen Interstellar, has time travel in it.
What?
Yeah.
So I hadn't seen Interstellar, but I totally caught that. That was a reference to something.
Yeah.
And a reference to Dazed and Confused?
It was not, a reference to Dazed and Confused. Thank you, James in the booth.
I mean, it's a double whammy.
Yeah.
I mean, because
Dazed and Confused did not have time travel.
That's true. But I mean, he never left the time that he graduated. So, if anything, he's frozen in time.
Nice. Nicely done.
Thanks.
I'll take it. All right. Yeah. Okay. So the other thing about time travel that's never mentioned, and I appreciate that they mention it, is that it stinks. And there's a lot more pus.
Yeah.
Disgusting.
It really is.
So true, though. I also appreciated them pointing out that Baird is 1.5 feet taller than the average woman in that time and still now.
Yeah. She's giant.
Rebecca Rain's really tall.
Oh, yeah. So I like that she had to kind of parade as a boy.
Yeah.
And even I would say that in that time, Flynn was a little more girly than she is.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he always is.
Right.
I feel like in terms of gender roles.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the point of the librarian. Right?
Yeah. To bend them gender roles.
Nice. Smooth.
Thanks.
Okay. Yeah, so we also learned about the first time traveler, which was Dr. Pinkerton Chinosaurus.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, so I tried to find it, or at least the origin of it. That to me also felt like a reference.
Yeah.
Because there's a comic strip or like a short story or something to that effect, where essentially two scientists are discussing a wormhole. They send something through, and it hits a lizard, and then it either hits a lizard or a mammal. I don't remember. And it cuts back to them, and they're lizard people, and they're like, I guess nothing happened. And I feel like that is what that was kind of encapsulating.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I was hoping, because then Cassandra points out that there may be a lizard or a dinosaur version of her.
Yeah.
And I was like, that better be a thing next season.
Oh, yeah.
You put it in our brains, guys. That has to be a thing next season. And we also, I'm a little nod to Schrodinger's cat is in the theoretical animals wing.
Yeah. And I love that line where it's alive?
Yeah. It's great.
Yeah.
For those who don't know about Schrodinger's cat, watch The Big Bang Theory.
Oh, come on.
That's where I learned about Schrodinger's cat. Thank you, TV. All right, so then we get our crystal ball time travel machine.
Yeah.
And we had discussed this, and I'm letting the chat take it, so we'll keep an eye on the chat, or at least try to.
Right.
I don't think it was ever said why they chose that time travel machine, and we had said, I believe a TARDIS would have been much more, not accurate, because the TARDIS is never accurate.
Right.
But would have been much more likely to get them back.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, because it's not as magically tied in.
Yeah.
So, but I think in our discussion before, I was like, well, but the TARDIS is very much prone to paradoxes.
Yes.
Which we were definitely trying to avoid.
Yeah. So then a DeLorean.
Yes.
Which I guess the other thing to think about the DeLorean is they wouldn't be able to blend in with it.
Right.
Whereas like a TARDIS always blends in.
Oh yeah, totally.
Police box.
Yeah. It doesn't stick out like a sore thumb at all.
No, never does. And so they chose I didn't catch why they chose it. They just said this is the one.
Right.
And whatever you take one way, you have to take back.
Mm-hmm.
So they decide to take the breakable time traveling machine, and it shatters.
Yeah.
Shock.
But sweet drama, am I right? Then they're like, how do they get back?
So through this whole episode, did you assume that they would be coming back?
Well, I felt like it could work one of two ways. Mm-hmm. Especially since it was Noah Wyle and Rebecca Romaine.
Yeah.
Because I assume that they wrote this season assuming that, or not knowing if they were going to get another season. Mm-hmm. So they, I feel like this show and the writers of the show are always cool because they write like a complete story, and they write like it's their last. which means they don't hold anything back. So I felt like if they had essentially made it so they weren't coming back, I mean, that they would write it so it's fine. And they did. Like, even if we didn't have the whole ending piece, and it was just like, they're gone now, I'd be like, all right, cool. We have our core, and we can work with it from there.
I had a very similar feeling. As soon as we had the scene with Shakespeare had to come through, and then the portal time loop would close.
Yeah.
I thought, like they're gonna stay there, and they're gonna live out their lives.
Yeah.
And they wrote this thinking, okay, if we don't get another season, like at least they're together and they're happy.
Right.
And the librarians are gonna go on and do adventures. But if we do get another season, we'll easily have a way to bring them back.
Exactly.
And then they brought them back.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay. Well, I guess.
Yeah. Though, I mean, their ending was very Rory and Amy. So I thought that was really cute.
I did notice that as well. I did not. And so people in the chat are agreeing that they did not ever explain why we chose the ball, the globe, crystal ball.
Right.
Thing that breaks. The breakable time machine. I know words.
They're saying that probably due to copyright is why they couldn't use the TARDIS.
Well, obviously.
Well, yeah. And it's more science and not magic. So, did I say that already? Maybe.
No, but that's...
Yeah.
Whatever. I mean, also somebody pointed out that the TARDIS gets lost a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it would have been wrong. It would have landed wrong. We know that.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like if they had used the TARDIS, the ending of the episode would have been them landing in the Croatian period and being like, okay, well, all right, I guess we're gone now.
Whatever. Wibbly wobbly, timey-wimey. I would have really liked a timey-wimey, although I think for copyright reasons they couldn't say that either.
Right.
I just would have liked it. Anywho.
Clocky walkie.
Yeah. Exactly. Clocky walkie. So we also have the long way round, which is how we got our lovebirds back.
Yeah.
And how they got all the notes to us. And again, this is parallel to a Doctor Who story that happened this season, which we're not going to say anything about because if somebody hasn't watched it.
Right.
But the long way round.
Mm-hmm.
It seems to be a time traveler's obligation.
Yeah. Well, I mean, because it's at its core, it's how we all travel through time. So it's the...
How depressing. Thanks for that.
You're welcome. So, I mean, it's the highway, and typically time travelers will take side streets, you know? But I feel like it's really always important to kind of point that out, that yeah, you're manipulating time, but at the same time, your one route is forward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we get that also with Cassandra pointing out that the only the past can send messages to the future.
Yeah.
That they can't send messages back.
Right.
Okay, so before we talk about Shakespeare and Prospero, because that's... Yes.
Before we move on.
Oh, good. Continue. Speak, oh wise man.
I just wanted to point out how much I loved that they brought the room back, because they had been dropping it all season.
Oh, yeah.
Being like, there's one room that doesn't open.
Absolutely.
And I felt like it was really well done. It was a thing that like it's to the standard that we hold these writers, that they dropped it so early.
Yeah.
And they were able to kind of keep that through line, keep us thinking about it, but not like at the forefront to where we would guess that was the solution.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. 100% agreed. Oh, it was a brilliant twist. And a brilliant, just a great way to do it.
Yeah.
And right at the end, right before it happened, I went, oh, the room. Mm-hmm. And it was so good.
Yeah.
And you're right, it was dropped there. And we even talked to Lindy when she was here for the season premiere. And I don't remember if we said it on air or not, but we asked her, like, is it important? And she said yes.
Yeah.
And so, like, but then you just forget about it all season. Mm-hmm. So good.
Yeah. Because it was just folded into there are issues with the library, and you're like, okay, I guess that's a thing.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, it was very Davies-y if we're continuing with the Doctor Who comparisons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that is a compliment.
Oh no, it's of the highest order.
Yeah, just so everyone's aware.
Yeah.
The hugest compliment. I mean, the time travel stuff was just so good. I want to keep talking about it, but it was just so good.
Yeah.
Okay, so before we talk about Shakespeare and Prospero, or Prospero, that's a thing now.
Yeah, totally. Hashtag Prospero.
Someone figure out how to spell that. Okay.
Prospero.
No.
Okay.
Okay. So I want to bring up something that someone brought up to me, that I wish Alexis, I really wish Sam was here for it.
Yeah.
Samantha. I wish Sam was here for it. Because it's a very excellent point.
Yeah.
And I would love to get the fans' take on it, and I'm sure Sam will have lots of opinions.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so Christian Kane, Stone,
Yes.
in previous show, Leverage, he just had to stand there and he was sexy, and women were throwing themselves at him. That was like a part of the show. And in this show, it's kind of like he was neutered. In that he's the fan wrote to me that he's kind of like a father figure in a way to the other two. And I wonder, and I want to bring it to the fans because that is such an interesting concept, that like this man who can just stand there and exude confidence and sexiness has been taken to a place where he is no longer seen that way.
Right. Which I imagine for him is a nice change of pace. But also, I like that idea because, I mean, especially in this show, where essentially everyone, with the exception of Flynn and Baird, feels like a relatively asexual character. Like they're like.
I disagree, but go on.
Oh, I guess with the exception of Ezekiel.
Oh, I was gonna say Cassandra, who is flirting with everyone.
Yes, though. Okay.
Go on with your theory that's wrong.
Theory rescinded. I mean, but yeah, I guess he's the only one who's not like actively like looking at anyone romantically. But beyond that, I would also kind of relate it back to the fact that he is, in a sense, running away from himself. So it I would imagine for him it's harder to kind of relate to people because you're so many different people and you have to figure out which side of you to show them.
Yeah.
And so I think that aspect has led him to be a little more wise and sagey because he's had to kind of like figure out how to live life and separate himself from his family and all that stuff. But it hasn't led him to kind of look for anyone to be with because I don't think he's, as a character, ready for that.
Okay. I totally see what you're saying. And I think what might be nice is to see him, like, have a love interest with a 2-episode arc.
Yeah.
Or a 3-episode arc, not a 1 episode where she dies at the end.
Right.
Season 1. So that we can see him explore this finding himself, being able to date situation.
Yeah.
And it's hard. I know that I keep, and I apologize because it annoys me as well that all I do is compare the show to Leverage, but there are so many similarities, especially in the group dynamic and the friendships and whatever. And especially with him and his role. I in Leverage, everyone coupled up, and it was very similar, at least in the beginning, to the way the show has coupled up.
Right.
And Librarians, to see him again be the one who isn't getting coupled up, it makes me wonder. What I mean, because there are plenty of ladies out there who would love to play his love interest.
I mean, yes. I can't really speak
Give him some loving. That's all I'm asking.
Though, I mean, from a fan standpoint, I mean, do you really want to see someone else with him? I mean, isn't it better for you to be able to just feel like he's always available for you to swoop in there and take him?
No.
Okay.
Especially because Sam, for example, has been shipping him with, I believe, Cassandra the entire 2 seasons.
Yeah.
And if that's not going anywhere, then to bring someone in who could be a good love interest and then become evil. You know what I mean? Like something interesting.
Yeah.
Date and then turns out she's the witch. You know?
Yeah.
Anyway, I just wanted to bring that up because a fan brought it up to me and I thought the fans should
discuss. Yeah.
And I know the chat's going a little crazy. We aren't catching all of it, but I saw some stuff about them saying that he should maybe he's into Eve.
I mean, yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, let's talk about Prospero. Prospero.
Yeah.
I love this. They're the same. Love it.
Yes.
Absolutely. So good. The twists in this episode were beautiful.
Yeah. I was worried for a second, for only 1 second. And that there was that point where Moriarty was like, "This isn't your will.
Right.
This isn't your story." And I was like, "Are they going to introduce a new bad guy this late in the game?" But like the way that it unfolded was way better than that.
I was hoping that they were. I was
Really?
hoping that they were about to introduce someone who'd been running a long con. Sorry to make a Leverage reference. And that it was going to take us into the next season with this new villain.
Right.
That's what I was hoping, was that they'd figure this out and free Prospero from whoever's controlling him, and then he would disappear, and then we'd have a new villain. But I like this even better.
Yeah.
Prospero. That's a thing.
I mean, I think for me, the only thing that would worry me about that is that, as I said, I'd love that their seasons are super self-contained. And so to have that end, or have the season end with kind of what would be a cliffhanger or a non-climax because your enemy isn't defeated, I feel like that would have left me wanting. It would have left me wanting.
Right.
But I like that, one, our bad guy wasn't just he wasn't just defeated, he was also the solution to the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Prospero. So good.
Yeah.
Okay, so Moriarty's plan to kill Shakespeare. Moriarty, here's the thing. He's smarter than that. He's an evil genius.
Right. But he's a evil, like, businessman. He's not a scientist in any way, shape, or form. Like, he's very much a pragmatist. And the pragmatic thing to do is, if this guy's gonna create the evil, then cut it off at the head.
That's true. He doesn't, because he's fictional. Time travel doesn't affect him.
Right.
Except for that his author may have never written him.
It's true.
Minor detail.
Yeah.
All right. So we find out that the Tempest was originally called the Triumph of Prospero.
Yeah.
And it was really, I love, so the power focus effect thing played out all season.
Yeah.
And it really, because here's what I feel like it does every episode, where they go, this is the power, this is the focus, and this is the effect.
Yeah.
Is they go, we're breaking it down for you because you don't understand. Here is how it works. And I go, okay, here is how, I got it. I figured it out.
Yeah.
They really dumb it down in a way that I like. Thanks, guys. I don't read. Yeah. So our focus was Shakespeare's rage about being discarded and his wish to smite his enemies. Mm-hmm. The focus was the magical quill that he writes with, that was cut from the Tree of Knowledge, and it makes his thoughts a reality. And the effect was that he becomes Prospero, and that he can only do magic from the plays.
Right.
Which I love. Mm-hmm. I love it. And also, okay, so the Shakespearean play that I happen to know most about,
yes,
when I think I know Shakespeare, is Midsummer Night's Dream.
Right.
So as soon as we saw Bottom, I was like, got it, Bottom. And then when Ezekiel was like, there was a movie, and I was like, oh yeah, there was a movie. With Michelle Pfeiffer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that.
I feel like you're the Ezekiel of this panel.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
That was not a compliment.
No, I mean, he's smart. He gets all his knowledge from movies, ingenuity, and all that stuff.
At least I'm not Jenkins.
That's true.
Yeah.
He's old and sad.
He's not. Well, he was sad.
Yeah.
He was sad about Arthur. Okay, so let's talk about that for a second. Because he who wielded Excalibur before shall wield it again and save all of England. Mm-hmm. And Jenkins is like, I haven't seen my friend in so long.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, good, we're going to see him. No.
No.
Trick question. No.
Yeah. Though, I mean, I do like they were playing with that like prophecy, you know, because it's like a Moffat-esque like changing of words.
I love that. I love the idea of playing with words. You know this. I'm a big fan of wordplay. Big fan of wordplay.
Yeah. So I felt like it was, and also I had a nice moment when Cal came back. And I was like, oh, because we haven't seen him in so long.
Yeah.
And it's very like it was very prominent in the first season and
in the movies.
Yeah. So to have that character come back, it was a very heartwarming thing. Yeah. You know.
It when Cal was being dog-like, it reminded me of Stumpy, and I got real sad.
Oh.
I was like, Stumpy.
Yeah. I'm sure Stumpy will come back. Maybe he'll be glued back together and...
Oh.
Yeah.
Or they'll just find... I feel like they'll have to find gargoyles again.
Yeah.
Somewhere. That's got to come back.
Yeah. Well, they just have to find a castle.
Yeah.
Fly it to a rooftop. Make sure that it's above the... Okay.
Keep going.
Yeah. All right. Make sure that the castle is above the clouds.
Yeah.
And then every nightfall, they'll come to life.
Yeah.
And then they'll fight crime in New York City. It'll be sweet.
Yeah. People are in the chat complaining that we're not paying attention to them. Guys, we're sorry. It's the season finale, and there's only 2 of us, and we want to talk about time travel.
Yeah.
So, thank you for being in the chat. Thank you to everyone who is here live. We very much appreciate it. Thank you to everyone who watches live. I'm gonna take a moment to thank our fans. If you want to do that thing.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much for being here. It's been an amazing season. We had 2 guests in the studio with us. We worked on getting us a 3rd, but it's the holidays and people are busy. Let's be honest. People want to spend time with their family and whatnot. We want to sit and talk about the Librarians. So thank you all for joining us. Thank you for taking time out of your life to be here and stick with us all season. If you like us, and we hope you do, we hope you've stuck with us all season because you'll love us. Go to iTunes and hit subscribe. That way, when we come back for season 3, that's right, there's going to be a 3rd season, you won't miss a single episode. Also, thank you everyone live in the chat, everyone who's stuck with us every week. I've said that. I'm going to say it again. Also, on iTunes, very simple. Write us a review. Type into your keyboard or use your thumbs and write how much you love us or what we could be doing better in the comments, and we will read it live on the air right here. If you like us, that is a 5-star rating. If you don't like us, that is a 4-star rating. If you other things, don't worry about it because the other ones don't work.
No,
what is it?
It's because the other ones do not work.
That's it. I don't know how it works, guys. I'm tired.
It's fine.
Do we have a review?
Maybe. We don't have internet.
All right. We're going to try to read your review live on the air in Tauri's sexy voice. Yeah, Tauri, breaking it down.
Shout out to Alexis who's in the chat.
Alexis is in the chat. Hi.
What up, girl?
Sad panda. She's a sad panda, it says. That's all I caught in the chat. Thank you, Alexis, for making everyone in the chat feel loved when we can't. Thank you for being here. You got it yet? No? I'll come back to you.
Okay.
Are you ready? Should we get some jazz music going? James in the booth. Guys, this is James who calls me Duchess, by the way. James?
Yes, darling.
Darling. If you could look for some sexy jazz, that'd be great. Yeah? No?
Nope. Nope.
No?
Nope.
Okay. All right, don't worry about the sexy jazz.
I mean, you can put it on if you want.
I'll just listen to
do the rest of it like this.
Okay.
What are your thoughts on the rest of the episode, girl?
I want to talk about the ladies of the lake.
Ooh.
I can't. The show won't move if you do this.
All right, I'll just talk like this.
I'll accept it. Okay. No, James Moriarty is not in the booth. Oh, good call, though, because his name is James and he calls me Duchess. Good call.
Yeah.
Shout out to whoever said that. I think it was Lonavis.
Yes.
Okay. Let's talk about the ladies in the lake, because it was definitely brought back.
Mm-hmm.
And we had talked about how Excalibur came from the ladies in the lake.
Yeah.
And that had something to do with Morgan Le Fay.
Mm-hmm.
And that had something to do with Arthur. And, like, all of this keeps playing in, and Jenkins bringing up his history and where he was at the time of this occurring, right?
Yeah.
I feel like if next season there isn't more Arthurian life, there's Camelodian life.
Yeah. If there's not a Camelot. Camelot of references to
Yeah,
Arthur.
seriously. Oh, is that the sexy jazz?
Looks like it.
This is new sexy jazz.
Ooh.
Tari, did you get us a review to read? Nope.
Nah, girl.
Okay. Oh, God.
I'm just gonna stay like this, though, as long as it's playing.
Oh,
I'm gonna hang out. But yeah. Hey, guys. I really think that Jenkins is gonna have a real big arc next season. I mean, we got the Ladies of the Lake. We got Arthur. We got a whole season of back in the day. He even mentions a little bit of his time when he was in the 16th century, and it was a weird moment for him. So, I am under the impression that all season, next season, is going to be all about Jenkins all the time.
Alright, I couldn't pull up any reviews though. I'm sorry, but thank you for that. That was beautiful.
You're welcome.
Okay, calm down.
All right, back to my voice.
It's getting warm in here. Okay. I agree with you, but I feel like it might be time to head into predictions. Oh. No, too fast.
Yeah.
I did not just snort. No? There it is!
And now, your AFTERBUZZ TV predictions.
Okay.
Blue69B says my voice is creepy.
Whoa.
And
Whoa,
only
boo.
Beauty 2 Blue agrees. So, guys, I'm only going to talk like this.
Yeah, that is the creepy voice.
This is my... Oh, this is the creepy voice?
Yeah,
Oh.
obviously.
Okay. All right.
The smooth one's good.
Yeah.
Okay, predictions. We're done. We have gone off the deep end. Guys, this is what happens when a show ends for a season. We lose our minds.
That's true. I mean, we're going to miss it.
Yeah.
It's a good show. And we had a really fun time reviewing it, a really fun time, watching it.
Yeah.
And I think that, I kind of started predicting a little bit in my last segment.
Right. Your last segment.
In my last segment. But yeah, I really do think that the next season is going to be very Jenkins heavy. Mm-hmm. I was interested to see what a season would have been like if they had lost Baird and Flynn.
Yeah.
Because I think that would be really interesting, because Baird is definitely the glue, and we saw at the beginning of this season that everyone was kind of doing their own thing.
Yeah.
And I know that they don't want to retread in that area, but this was more of a loss than just her doing her own thing, which I think would have been really good drama fuel.
Mm-hmm. We also end with her and Flynn talking about how they have all the artifacts and he doesn't have to run anymore.
Yeah.
Which makes me wonder what next season will look like in terms of Noah Wyle. Because I heard rumors from people involved with the show that Noah Wyle doesn't want to steal the thunder of the other librarians, and that he wants to let them have the show.
Yeah.
Where he pops in every once in a while when it works for the story.
Right.
So the idea that the season ends with Baird being like, now you can be around all the time, it makes me wonder how much input he has, because he's a producer on the show.
Right.
So I feel like if he's like, I don't want to be here all the time so that they can have their show.
Yeah.
And then it's written in, you're gonna be here all the time.
Yeah, though, I mean, that's always a good initiating incident, is to get rid of one of your main protagonists, or have something happen to where, like, the whole next season could be them trying to figure out where Flynn has disappeared to. Or especially if the Ladies of the Lake are being involved, it could be that they've taken him for some reason, and it can be a fight between the two different factions.
Oh, yeah.
So there are ways to write around it. I think this was a good way of getting us that, like, kiss that they've been kind of, like, trying to have all season.
You mean the one that lasted hundreds of years?
Yeah. They're making up for lost time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gross. All I could think was, like, their mouths are so dry.
Yeah, it's so dry they're almost stony.
Gross.
Yeah. Blue, 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 blue.
I think also next season, we're going to get... I feel like... here's my problem with the Jenkins, Arthurian, Camelotian world.
Yeah.
I feel like the first season led us up to that.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like the show is going, we had that.
Yeah.
It's not going to come back again. But they keep dropping hints.
Yeah.
So, like, it kind of has to.
Yeah.
And the Ladies of the Lake and Lucky Lucy. First of all, where is Lucky Lucy? Right? Because she and Cassandra need to have a fight or a make-out sesh or one or the other, or both.
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest. Both would be great.
One leading to the other.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Which one leads to which? Anyway, sorry. My head went somewhere else.
So, I mean, yes. I mean, and we kind of talked about it a little bit earlier in our like season reviews, and that like we definitely think that Lucky Lucy has a place in one of the two, like either with the Ladies of the Lake or with the Librarians, and I think that they'll definitely pull her in because she's she would be a great tool to use to kind of like push forward what both of those sides are, because the whole, like, not even the whole season, but even just the initiating incident of next season could be that you know, the Ladies of the Lake are trying to recruit her, and that gives us a bridge into finding out more about them.
Yeah, and Mathemagics.
Yes.
Which is totally a thing. Guys, like rage people.
Yeah.
Those are things.
Yeah.
I also think so Lucky Lucy's going to come back, and I'm going to point this out because it's really important, and not just because I love her. Ariel,
yeah,
the fairy,
yeah,
she's free and running around somewhere in our world.
Yeah.
She should come back.
I agree.
She needs to. Not just because I love her.
Yeah. I mean, no, I think that it would be nice to have a magical being on the team.
Oh, yes.
You know, especially because I think I can't remember if we talked about this on or off air, but I feel like now that we've had this big incident with the ley lines being visible, and now a forest popping up mysteriously in a city, they have to start addressing the fact that magic is real in the real world, and kind of going into how the world is viewing all these strange incidents.
Yeah.
And I feel like that would be a good way of having this magical creature in the world, and maybe she's even the ambassador of, like, magical people aren't scary. Look how adorable she is.
Oh, absolutely. Because they didn't go back and undo what happened. They fixed it.
Yeah.
So people will still remember the forest, and people will still remember the ley lines.
Right.
That's, like, still a thing.
Yeah.
Because sometimes when you do time travel, you go back and you fix it, and then it never happened.
Right. But no, they, like, had to keep all the events as they were.
So next season, okay, prediction. Next season is all about them finally dealing with the world coming face to face with the magic. And we could bring back Truco.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
that'd be nice.
Maybe he's learned his lesson. Maybe he and Lucky Lucy start a team.
That would be cool.
With the Ladies of the Lake, and then the ladies murder Truco because he's not a lady. and then Ariel comes back and is ambassador and makes peace between the librarians and the ladies.
Yeah.
And then Arthur comes back and is like, "Give me back my sword." And that's season 3, guys.
Yeah.
You're welcome. I figured it out. Okay. I figured it out, guys. I'll see you in 2 seasons then.
Great.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much. Thank you for joining us. Thank you to everyone who's live in the chat. We apologize for ignoring you. Thank you to Alexis, who is in the chat, not ignoring you. Tauri, why don't you tell people what shows you're doing while we're on hiatus for another year, and where they can find you on Twitter and wherever else?
You can find me, I'll start with Twitter. You can find me on Twitter at TauriJ. It's TaurijAY. You can also find me, after this break, you can find me on the Flash After Show, the Arrow After Show. You can also find me on the Grimm After Show. Ba-bam!
Yay!
Ba-bam.
And tomorrow...
Oh, yes. And tomorrow you can find me and Yael and our good friend Zach on the Doctor Who After Show at 8 o'clock Pacific Standard Time.
Yay!
Yeah!
You guys can find me online at yael.tv. That's yael.tv. I was going to type it for you. It's also, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, other places at Yael Tygiel. That's YAELTYGIEL, as well as the Grimm After Show and Doctor Who After Show with this guy. I'm also doing Law and Order Special Victims Unit. Switch to Birth when it comes back to Freeform. I think that's it right now. It's a pretty light season.
Yeah.
But find me online, say hello, and we'll see you in 2016 when the library reopens.
Yeah.
Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.